Getting some interesting noises from the cab. Ooh, okay, the brakes are not happy. The brakes are not releasing, so I can hear air escaping. I think we've got a problem with the brakes. Some sort of problem with the brakes. Something's wrong with the train. Go and have a look and see what's going on here. This is a very exciting day because this license that we're about to purchase here will mean that we can actually pull some longer trains. So yeah, you can see I'm really laying into the throttle here. Ooh, get some wheel spin there. No, she's not happy. Woohoo! Hello everyone and welcome back to Derail Valley. I thought I would make another video on Derail Valley this week. In the last video, we basically saw how expensive it was to run the awesome and imposing steam locomotive in the game. A lot of fees. Might have to downgrade from the steam locomotive for today, unfortunately. Here I am at the steel mill in the middle of the map, and we are surrounded by cargo today. So we've got some steel rolls here, we've got some steel bars or panels or what have you. We've got all sorts of steel basically. These steel rolls here look quite interesting. And so yeah, let's go ahead and see what the steel mill has on offer for us to transport today. We'll pick up some cargo, we'll take it from here to, well, anywhere really, wherever it needs to go. And we'll make ourselves some more money, and hopefully we can afford to drive the steam locomotive again very, very shortly. Alright, so we've got our freight haul job here, which I have already signed us up to. That's a cool 10 grand plus. Basically hauling a whole load of steel billets, bent plates, steel rolls and steel slabs from the steel mill where we are over to goods factory and town. So just going to go and grab our trusty little diesel shunter, which will be the pilot vehicle or locomotive for today. Yes, she might not be too much to look at, but the important thing is to make sure this radiator right here is facing the right way. So the way we have to go right now is, yeah, it's basically facing the wrong way. So we need to spin this thing around, because if that radiator is not going into the wind as you drive, the engine's going to overheat, and it's not a good time at all. So just having a look at the wallet here, and we've got about almost $24,000. So we should be able to afford, with an extra 10k or so from this job that we're about to do, should be able to afford to get a long train license, I think, by the end of this video. So that should be very cool indeed. Once we get the long train license, we can actually afford to drive the steam locomotive again, because we'll be making more money from each job. So just gonna come over here to the career manager real quick and just sort of double check and just see how much that long train license is. Yes, it is $10,000. This is the information printout. This is not the actual license. This is just a sample. Now the insurance copay is increased by $3,000 with that license as well, so that's good. Okay, here's an example of a job that we can do if we had our long train license. Pays $27,000, although this is logistical haul, so we do need a logistical haul license as well. Anyway, just an example of what you can do once you get the licenses. You can make some good money there. Let's go ahead and try and validate our freight haul job for today, our 10 grand job that we spoke about earlier, taking these bits of steel. So we're just gonna put it into the validator here. Ooh, okay, that doesn't look right. Ah, denied. Okay, I think what we need to do here, it says, yep, so we need to pay off our fees before we can actually take any new job. So we can't just continue racking our fees up indefinitely. We do need to pay them down first, which is, yeah, fair call. Okay, now there's 18 grand of fees, but the cool thing is we only need to pay about 16,000 to the insurance company, and they'll pay the rest. So that's what the copay is all about. Now I can see here it says, do you have a manual license? Manual service license. Unfortunately, we don't. If we were to manually service those locomotives, we would have been able to save quite a bit of money here. So we don't have manual service. So manual service is one of those ones to get early on, I think, after getting long train 1. So we'll work towards that after this as well, getting our manual service license. You basically halve the costs of servicing your locomotives. So we'll go ahead and jump into the lovely little shunter here. And I'm just going to try and do things a little bit realistically here. Try and go through the door instead of just like sort of teleporting through the cab. We'll see how far I get with that, whether I get sick of it after a while. Let's go ahead and get this thing set up. What we need to do is basically... we need to get over to that track, I believe. Yes, anyway, before we do that, we need to turn this thing around. So there's a turntable over in that corner. So what I need to do is take this thing up to the little switches, points, whatever you may wish to call them. And yeah, basically turn the train around. So let's go ahead and do that now. And I'm just driving with the door open here. Yeah, that's a bit quieter, isn't it? Alright, so through these points, towards the end there, just amongst those trees, and then once we set those points, we can reverse back through towards the turntable. Alright, so I just set the last set of points there. There's the turntable just ahead of us there, so just got to be careful as we come up to the turntable, of course. You can see there the servicing shed is over to the right hand side as well. That's where we were in the last video. Engine's nice and cool still, so no trouble there. Not a bad little engine, this one. Can pull quite a bit of load, just got to be a little bit careful with how you manage it. So let's go and sort out this turntable. Use the door. Alright, so I should just be able to just lean into this here. There we go. Always have to be very careful as you drive up onto the turntable, of course. Ooh, we've got two diesel electrics hiding in the trees there. Go very slow and just make sure that your engine is directly centered, I guess, over the turntable. Not a problem with this small engine, but with the larger steam locomotive with the tender out the back and the bigger diesel electric as well, do need to be quite mindful of the dimensions and how it's parked. So just going to swing this thing over, turn our train around and get it onto the right track. Ha 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 ha. That doesn't really make sense in this case, but anyway. Okay, so the engine is now turned around, facing the right way. So we're going to make our way back towards the points and back onto the main line for a little bit, and then we'll hook up to our cargo and then we'll get on out of here. So yeah, cool little features, these turntables, for sure. I'm obviously glad they included them in the game, because it'd be pretty stuck without them, especially with the steam engine. No real way to drive that thing backwards. I mean, it's possible, but it'll be very difficult. Okay, we'll be over to our cargo very shortly. We'll just pull up onto the main line first, and then we'll reverse up and then get everything connected up. Okay, so just reversing into the correct siding here to pick up our load of cargo for today. Make sure that we've got the right siding there. B60, B6. It says B60 on the tracks, but it says B60 in the booklet. That always gets me somehow. Anyway, semantics, I guess. Alright, we'll just apply the brake here. Ooh, we're going a bit fast. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Ooh, okay. Kind of really went hard up the stops there a little bit, but anyway. Do the coupling procedure here. Okay. Couples on, brake hoses on. Okay, looking good. So that's it. That's our load for today. Basically all of that steel. So about 280 tons there for this poor old little diesel shunter. And I just realized that getting some interesting noises from the cab. Ooh, okay, the brakes are not happy. The brakes are not releasing, so I can hear air escaping. I think we've got a problem with the brakes. Some sort of problem with the brakes. Something's wrong with the train. Go and have a look and see what's going on here. Okay, so just having a look here. Ooh, okay, interesting. Okay. Alright, well that will do it. The hose at the very end of the train was open, like this. The valve was open. So the air was escaping. Yeah, so this needs to be closed. Otherwise, air will escape into the atmosphere and your brakes will not release. That's a safety mechanism, so... yeah, anyway, let's head back inside and get on going. Still doing that door thing, as you noticed there. Okay, so brakes looking better now. The brakes are... hang on. Full apply, full release. Yep, brakes are coming off. That's good. So we'll just give that a few seconds. I'll wait for the pressure in the brake pipe there to stabilize. Brakes are almost released basically, so we'll go into forward. We'll add some throttle. The horn is not as bad, hopefully, for headphone users as the whistle of the steam engine. You can really see here, I've got a bit of throttle on and it's very slowly moving. Okay, so goods factory in town, here we come. 267 tons actually, so yeah, that's a fair bit of weight on the back actually. You can tell the shunter's kind of struggling a little bit to get going. Gonna have to add a little bit more throttle, I think. Just being mindful as well, we don't want to spin the wheels. We've got sand available to us obviously, but always better to drive conservatively and efficiently to avoid wear and tear and accidents. Okay, we should be on the main line very, very shortly now. Just joining the main track here. This is not a bad little run either. I did take the steam engine up this way in the last video. So interesting now to take the shunter back this way as well, towards goods factory in town. Hopefully we should see our steam engine there as well, waiting for us when we arrive at our destination today. And if you look over to your left, just kidding, I'm not going to do that. Okay, so here we are on the map. We're just leaving the steel mill. We've got a little bit of a straight section up ahead. It kind of curves off to the left. And then we do have a straight run of track after that. So we can really open up the throttle and just see how fast we can go with this thing. Obviously, keeping within the limits of the speed signs, the speed limits there. But we're well within the limit at the moment. So let's add a bit more throttle and try and get this thing moving a little bit faster. Got a bit of overgrowth here on the track. Looks like I'm just driving on grass here. The vegetation update has really made a good difference to the visuals of this game. The vegetation update that happened recently. Okay, so we've got our switch set correctly up ahead here, over to the left. Of course, we've got a shed over to the right there. Yeah, it was only in the last video I was going this way with the steam engine, so at least it's a known route, and that's one of the tricks to playing this game, Derail Valley, is route knowledge is a big thing. Before you go too crazy with speed and the throttle, always good to run the track a few times just to get a feel for the gradients, the curves, how fast you can safely tackle everything. You can see here the train's running away from us already because we're on a bit of a downhill section here. So I'm just applying a little bit of the brake, but Yeah, should be fine. I'm just going to release the brake again. I'm just mindful of how long it takes to release the brake with a longer train. So I've got to be careful with that, because if you apply the brake and keep it on for too long, and it just takes longer to release the brake afterwards, and then you will be, by the time you've actually released the brakes fully, you'll be going slower than you want it to go. So that's kind of the situation I'm in here. So what happens after that? You have to accelerate more. That means use more fuel. So yeah, it's all about energy management, efficient energy management. So lovely scenery here in Derail Valley. Okay, 80 kilometers an hour section here. Let's try and get this thing moving. Got a little bit of weight behind us, so 50 now. A little bit more throttle. Let's go. And mindful of the engine temps there as well, I can see on the gauge. Engine temps are creeping up a little bit, so the thing with the shunter is that the engine does overheat rather easily if you lay into the throttle, and then you add yourself a long train and a few inclines, you'll be at the limit before you know it, engine temperature wise. Alright, just past 60. Ooh, there goes our engine temperature alarm. So we're just past 90 degrees Celsius. Not bad, not bad. Speed wise, we're doing pretty good. Got a bit of a right hand curve coming up. Ooh. Okay, let's get off the throttle here. We're doing about 60, which should be fine for this curve. Giving the wheels a nice polish here around this curve. Crossing over this bridge. Okay, let's just get off the throttle for the moment. Got a little bit of, a fair bit of momentum right now, and yeah, got a bit of a, I won't say sharp, but a reasonable left-hand curve coming up. So I don't want to go any faster than we currently are right now. Polishing those wheels again, nicely. Okay, alright, 60 is the limit. We're doing pretty much 60, so we don't want to be right on the limit. Let's slow this thing down. Back to 50. And then we've got our junction up ahead. Let's just see, is that, yep, that's set correctly. 45 now. Okay, we can just coast on through here, but I think we've got a bit of a right-hand curve. This right-hand curve coming up through the switch here is a little bit sharp from memory, so let's just get on the brake a little bit more. We just want to bleed a little bit more speed off. Okay. Through the points we go. 50 kilometers an hour limit there, but we're well within the limit. It's always good to stay a little bit under the limit there, as you can see, just to play it safe. Okay, now I'm mindful, I've really got to get on the throttle here. I remember when I was taking the steam engine here in the last video, the hill, the incline starts right about here, so I'm keen to sort of get the speed up ASAP. 1.1% grade, so that's a big one. Yep. You notice there that I got on the throttle nice and early, pretty much whilst we're still going through that curve. Because if you leave it too late, you can see here that the speed is hardly picking up. So if we left it too late, we would have been dropping down to like probably 25 or less right now. And then we would have had to apply the sand, and then we would have been kind of stuck. So this is not a exceedingly heavy load, but if it was any heavier, you could really find yourself in some deep trouble with these inclines if you're not careful, especially with this shunter. So you got to think ahead, Okay, almost there now, almost there. So yeah, you can see I'm really laying into the throttle here. Ooh, get some wheel spin there. No, she's not happy. Alright. I'm not going to bother with the sand. I think I'll just keep the throttle where it is. We're doing a pretty good speed here. We don't need to be doing 70. We'll keep it at around 40. Got a bit of a left-hand curve coming up. There's quite a bit to keep track of, isn't there, as you drive a train? Speed is holding steady, so no problems there. Engine temps are fine. Cargo is looking good as usual. One of the last curves coming up, and then we'll be into the underpass, the little tunnel section, and then we'll basically be at the destination. Ooh, okay, engine temps are farming, but that's fine because there's our tunnel and that's basically the station. So let's get right off the throttle there. Good job, shunter, good job. You've done well. I'm just patting the shunter here. I like these rolling arrivals where we can just roll right into the station. Saves a lot of time rather than having to stop the entire thing, hop out, do some recon up ahead. This is where knowledge of the station really helps as well. Been here before, so in the last video with the steamer, so just over in that direction there, we'll go around this little curve coming up, this little bend over to the left, and then we'll pause and then set the points and reverse up. Always a good idea to go through here. The station limits the points. There's our steamer, there it is! Okay, so in just a second, once our last carriage clears that set of points there that I'm looking at, I'll just start putting the brakes on here. Yep, oops, wrong brake. I'm putting the locomotive brake on. That's going to do pretty much nothing right now because trying to put the locomotive brake on with a heavy load behind you is not really going to do much at all. Okay, there's the switch. Alright, might as well go ahead and make sure that all the other switches are set up as well. So let me just do that right now. You guys probably don't need to see this actually, so I'll just do that quickly and then we'll hop back into the cab and reverse up. Alright, so all our points are set. Oh no, the door! Alright, this has been an interesting episode because I've noticed that I have remain true to what I wanted to do initially, and that is go through the doors correctly and not just teleport into the cab. So I'm happy with myself that I've stayed true to that. Trying to reverse now, and oh boy, trying to reverse with a heavy load behind you from scratch, from zero. Brakes are pretty much off. Wow, okay. Yeah, the physics are really done well in this game. That would pretty much be how it would be in real life, you know, having to push the load backwards on a curve, no less. That would be quite a difficult task for a little shunter like this, so you can really see that it's quite realistic in that regard. I love that. I love that aspect. Some of you may look at it and go, whatever man, but yeah, I really enjoyed this aspect of the simulation and simulations, I guess, in general. Just the little touches like that just really drive home that what you're doing is not just a game as such. There's actually a heavy load being simulated here, and yeah, it demands respect if you want to succeed. So let's go easy here on the throttle. Don't want to be going too fast. We'll reverse back into the final destination here, which is the set of points where we need to be. Let's give it a little bit more power just to maintain that momentum. Just mindful that the train is going through points right now, so we don't want to push the load too hard, because pushing the load is always more risky. You've got a chance of pushing the load right off the tracks if you're not careful. I know that the carriages in front of us here are quite heavily loaded. I guess the real risk is if you had a unladen carriage somewhere in between the train there, and you were to really put the throttle on, you would really notice that you'd be in trouble. You could sort of jackknife the carriage or derail the carriage basically off the rails. So smooth and steady power application is the name of the game here. Thank you all so much for coming along on the journey with me today. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. What I'm going to do in just a moment is head on into the station office once we've finished this run, and hopefully I can afford to buy that license. I should be able to, because I've got enough money still in the wallet, plus the 10 grand or so I'm getting from this job. I mean, the money I'm getting from this job, hopefully, even if there's fees from this job, I've got quite a bit of money in my wallet still, so should be able to get that license, long story short. Alright, let's put the brakes on, and that's basically it. We'll go ahead and decouple everything, so let's do that. Okay, so here we are, back of the locomotive. Didn't have to walk too far, thankfully, this time. Air off. And we are not going to separate the hoses manually. We are going to do what's called a mechanical separation there for safety reasons. There he goes. I just heard it snap. Hose has snapped free there. Alright. Brakes on. Locomotive brake on. Don't need the train brake. That's fine. And engine off. Peace. Okay, that's good. Electric's off. Take the map with us. So here we are. We have made it. So staying true. Going to use the door. Going to use the door. Just do one last check of everything. I think we've got everything with us. Don't want to leave anything behind because we may not be driving this next time. How exciting. We're going to be driving the steam engine next time. So it was only a little break from the steam engine. And we shall be driving again very soon. Next episode. Alright, here we are in the station office. Let's grab our job card. And we shall just go ahead and validate the job and get our money. Complete. Alright, so that's $10,700 odd right there. So we've moved our cars to where they need to be. Let's grab our money. Now before we can get our license for long train, we need to just check out our fees. So just clearing out the fees here, got the locomotive, steam locomotive I think this was, so just going to clear off this one. Thankfully insurance only needs me to pay a portion, so thank goodness for that. Woohoo! Okay, so all the fees are gone, so yeah, we've still got a good $18,405 there. Not going to count the cents. So we can go ahead and buy a license now. So the long train 1 is what I was after. So let's go ahead and with our $18,405, choose long train 1, which is this one here, train length 1, $10,000. This is a very exciting day because this license that we're about to purchase here will mean that we can actually pull some longer trains, up to 10 carriages long with this one. So that's really, really cool. It says there, beware of your total train mass exceeding your locomotive's tractive effort. So basically it's saying, if you've got a little shunter like what we just drove today, don't hook up a huge train to it, even if it's just 10 carriages. Those 10 carriages can be quite long. So we've got here an example. Long train 1, freight haul. That's something we can do next time. And actually, that's a good point. I might as well go ahead and choose the job that I'm going to do for the next video, because yeah, we could make it a bit of a challenge. We could actually choose to drive the shunter next time as well with this long train. We'll be increasing our profit margin quite a bit by doing that. 384 tons, that's all. Bunch of chemicals and electronics, long train 1, which we have, so we can do this job. So yeah, let's go ahead anyway, and let's go ahead and purchase our license finally. Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Got the job already and haven't even bought the license yet. Okay, here it is. Here comes the license. Congratulations, this license grants you access to jobs up to 10 cars long. Okay, so train length 1, we got it. We got it. So, yay. Okay, so I think we'll wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of the video for... I can see that it's got a nice little stamp there. It says progress. It says there removes re-rail discount. So I think what that means is if you try to re-rail your derail train, you won't get a discount anymore, I believe. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, we're not in the business of derailing here on this channel, are we? Or are we? I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see how we go, I guess, won't we? So yeah, we've got deliver ISCAR chemicals and ISCAR electronics from goods factory in town where we are right now, and we'll be coming down to machine factory. We'll be going up here. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting run actually. I'm really looking forward to doing that run, and yeah, please comment below if you've got any thoughts on this upcoming job delivering these chemicals and electronics. It's going to be quite a long run across the map there. Quite a good amount of payback of pay, I guess, that the job will give us too. So let me know if you think I should take the shunter to do that job, 384 tons, or if I should take the steam engine. I'm leaning towards taking the steam engine purely because it's a heavier locomotive, it's more stable, and yeah, it's going to cost us more to do that job consumable wise, like fuel wise, but otherwise I think it'll be very much worth it. So thank you again for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.